Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Smoothies with the Swetechs. Dr. John here and my sister Dr. Maria.
Nice to see everybody.
So she she goes all out with these smoothies. She made up the Lean Mean Green machine. I accidentally screwed it up and put some cinnamon in here, but it actually tastes a little bit, it's good.
He already tried it. He didn't wait till we cheers, which by the way, let's cheers.
If you want to get the rest. Okay, so we were thinking about
the name that you just mentioned. I don't know if that name might be kind of stolen from somewhere, so we're not,
we're not trademarking that.
We're
it's
giving
probably
it credit
called something.
to whoever. That's probably the name of a smoothie out there. We've heard a green machine, we've heard a lean machine, so we're not stealing that from anybody. Just as a disclaimer.
Yeah.
But
also, none of this is official medical advice. For official medical advice, see your physician or come see us. All right, so we wanted to talk about some health topics in the summer. Are you doing everything you can be to be as healthy as possible here? Obviously, there's a million things we could talk about, so we're just kind of hitting some topics that kind of come to the tip of the tongue. So let's start with Dr. Maria. What's one thing that you're thinking about during the summer?
Well, of course, this was actually shout out to our medical assistants. This afternoon when they were leaving clinic, I asked if they had any good topics that we could discuss. And of course, in typical Dr. John fashion, we were not allowed to rehearse or practice ahead of time. So I don't know exactly where things were going. However, they suggested maybe discussing pool safety. So, a lot of us are, especially on those hot days, flocking over to either, whether it be the local pool or maybe a friend's pool or maybe your own pool. And so I just wanted to kind of touch base and make sure, that the risks of drowning were discussed, and that's a real risk, even if somebody knows how to swim. Big thing is with kids, so having kids near pools that are unattended, got to make sure that they're always, a watchful eye being watched. Sometimes the pool alarms can be effective. Of course, using the appropriate fitted appliances for, whether that be pool, angel wings or whatnot that they're called. John, do you have any good suggestions?
BLS, a lot of people, health providers and anyone in the health field gets BLS certification. It's probably a good idea for everyone to get. You never know, you might save a life. The BLS is pretty easy. ACLS is a little bit more complicated. That one's probably overkill for most people, but you should do a BLS course. You can learn CPR and things like that. You never know. You might be at the pool and someone might drown and you'll know what to do and save a life. It's not just about stuff in the office. It's about you guys being empowered too to help people out as well.
Absolutely, that's a good point.
Yeah, drownings happen every year and it's a serious issue. You got to be careful. Kids, they sometimes underestimate or don't know their ability and you really got to be careful around them. And it happens, everyone, all ages, be careful with alcohol if you're drinking, being around the water, those things, on the boats,
boating,
all that stuff. You definitely take an extra second to make sure you're safe if you're on kids. If you have a pool, make sure kids and whatnot don't fall in or have some safeguards in place and whatnot.
Absolutely. A lot of the local pools thankfully have, lifeguards and whatnot, but even if lifeguards are available, we should still all be, making good, healthy, preventative choices, to make sure that we're staying as safe as possible.
So, next topic, let's talk about, one we frequently see around summertime is tick bites. Ticks, they say it's more certain other areas, but there are ticks in the area that have Lyme's and, they have a parasite that can cause Lyme's disease. If you get bit, you should follow the instructions to get the tick off. Sometimes people send the tick into the lab to see if it has that parasite in it. It's almost always worth getting treated prophylactically for Lyme's if you get a tick bite. Lyme's, it's kind of rare, but it's a horrible illness to have, and a lot of times if you get a antibiotic dose like right away, usually it's doxycycline. I've heard some of the penicillins can help too. There's a few other alternate treatments, but yeah, if you get a tick bite, get treated. It's almost never a bad idea, but you can avoid that. Sometimes it's even just one dose of antibiotic can prevent Lyme. So
absolutely, and something I wanted to add, Dr. John, is Lyme's disease isn't the only health concern that comes to mind when we're talking about be having a tick bite occur. There's other sorts of things that we need to worry about, not to mention like bad allergic reactions, and then there's some things that can even cause lab abnormalities. So make sure you're, staying aware. We want you to be out and active and everything, but making sure you're doing a good scan head to toe of ticks after, especially being in wooded areas. And in southeast Michigan, it's been real. Big thing is on the kiddos, because they often don't know that they have encountered a tick. So doing a good scan from head to toe. So it's very important.
So going along with that, let's talk more zoonotic, they call them, diseases. Mosquitoes, fortunately we don't have malaria obviously around here, but mosquitoes every once in a while they can transmit some things. They've transmitted West Nile and things like that. We haven't had any crazy stuff lately. It's been a few years, but do what you can to prevent getting mosquito bites. Plus they're annoying, they itch, they burn, they're not fun. They have all kinds of repellents. Back in the day used all kinds of chemicals. They have more what do you call it? Less chemically,
yes,
for lack of a better word.
Less of the toxic sort of ingredients.
But they've used DEET and they've said it's safe. You got to do your own research on that and find out what's comfortable for you. But you can definitely, who knows, they might have some other strain or virus going around. So use some sense there. No one likes mosquito bites anyways.
In the media, especially that EEE that was discussed within the last couple of years as well. So prevention's key with that stuff. Not using very much scented products, making sure that you're covering up, not having too much exposed skin, and all those important things.
They're pretty bad this year. They got me so many times already, but
yeah.
We'll do what we can. Obviously take advantage of the warm weather and stuff. Get outside there. We've all been cooped up for so much time with the pandemic. We want you guys to get outside, enjoy the fresh air. I know it's been raining a lot, but whatever your exercise of choice is, get out there and do it. Whether it's running, walking, all sorts of. You can do what you want. But Michigan, the seasons change, so don't wait too long to get out there and be regular with it. Now's the time, because let's make up for some of that time indoors.
Absolutely, but going along with summer safety, of course, making sure that you're adequately covered up. I did a video, maybe like a month or so ago, about summer, protecting the eyes from UV rays, protecting the skin from UV rays, all that stuff. So make sure, of course, that you're staying safe while you're out there too, and but definitely making the best of it. I'm glad you pointed that out. So with that, I'll go ahead and run through my little quick recipe here. This was all just kind of thrown together. What we did in these smoothies to make these two was 3 cups of greens. I actually put them in the freezer after, and as you know, greens can kind of expand and then deflate, but I did put them in the freezer, and the greens I used were baby chard, baby spinach, and baby kale, like a trio of the 3. I froze them. I added 1 small avocado, 1 clementine. I'm not sure if it was a clementine or a mandarin though, because the label actually said both. So it was either one of either of those.
Don't forget the cinnamon.
We'll get to that. A cup of sliced peaches, and then they were frozen. 3/4 of a cup of Greek plain yogurt. I used the 2% one that was not flavored. I used 2 cups of unsweetened almond milk. And if you want this a little sweeter, you can use, a protein protein scoop of your choice, like 2 scoops or whatever the suggested amount is. John actually also threw in some cinnamon. This is kind of a little bit of a, it was, because I was afraid it wasn't going to be green anymore. But that's like a little entryway into our next smoothie. The next one's going to be probably a little bit more of a dessert sort of smoothie. Not dessert, it's going to be still healthy, but, and then I did put a few ice cubes in. You can kind of, depending on the consistency that you prefer with your smoothies, you can add more or less. And just like I discussed last episode, of course, everybody's health concerns and their health narratives are unique. So this recipe, may not be safe for you. It may not be right for you. This is just what we did for our fun little episode here. And it actually turned out pretty good. Kind of earthy, as they say.
Well, we got a lot of people signing on. We'll give you guys a few more. Obviously, Salama mentioned the screening colonoscopies. That's funny. That's not what we're talking about today, but yeah, stay up to date on your preventative care. So, okay, people a lot of times forget to drink enough water and they get dehydrated in the summer. Don't be one of those people. Obviously, if you have heart problems or kidney problems, that might be adapted to you. You might have to adjust the advice there, but make sure you're staying hydrated. These days like this, you get hot, and especially if you're having a lot of caffeine and things like that, all sorts of weird things can happen when you're dehydrated.
And there's good foods that can keep you hydrated. For example, smoothies, but also fruits. Now, I don't think fruits are the enemy. There's a lot of, we have to do it in moderation, of course, because there can be a lot of sugars, but a lot of fruits have good sources of hydration to them.
Sandy's asking about complimentary samples. We should do that. We should look into that.
Oh, of our smoothies? Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Hey, Anza, how you doing? Hey, Sonia, how you doing? All right. So, okay, here's another one we see a lot around this time of year. A lot of people, they have allergies and asthma, and the trees change, and you think the air be like nice and clear right now, but it's pretty humid. A lot of people are flaring. If you don't have your asthma under control, or if you have COPD or any breathing problems, get them checked out. Now's a particularly rough time for a lot of people, and you can get in trouble. And not to mention, it's kind of rough on your quality of life. So make sure you get those things straightened out. A lot of allergies, these pretty trees. I don't think we got any around here. They kind of bloom settled down, but you know, allergies. A lot of people miss work over these things. They miss school. They feel horrible. There's many options to get those under control. And if you're not feeling good, you know, get in or go see your doctor if you don't see us, and we'll get you. There's lots of options to improve that and get you feeling better. Since we're talking about health in the summer, what's some other good ones? We talked about the sun stuff. Poison ivy. A lot of people come in with these horrible outbreaks of poison ivy. You know, everyone should look online. A lot of people don't realize what a poison ivy looks like. Look online when after this. Go look at what a poison ivy plant looks like. Poison oak, poison sumac. It's around there, and people can get really bad reactions. It's kind of interesting. They call it roost dermatitis. A lot of people don't react to this. It's kind of weird, but some people get horrible reactions. A lot of times you can get those to settle down with steroids and things like that, or there's a few other washes and creams. They can get infected too. I've seen that a few times, so be careful.
They can spread, certainly.
Bee stings. If
I can actually, I'm going to interrupt you really quick, Dr. Jen, for the poison ivy too. It's important not to burn it down, because that can actually cause very bad sensitivity, you know, if it becomes airborne.
Yep, that's a good point.
Okay, but go ahead with bee stings. Sorry.
So right when we set up shop, the bees were coming out trying to get our green smoothies, but you know, a lot of people are allergic to bees. If you are, definitely make sure you have an EpiPen on hand. You never know, it can save a life. Most people know, but be careful if you've never been stung. I think I've only been stung once. A lot of people don't even know, but it can cause bad anaphylaxis and things like that. So we also see some people get bee stings and they get infected, so you gotta be careful. This one's not advice or anything. I find if you leave the bees alone, they usually leave you alone, but you got to be careful. What I've seen a few times, though, people don't know they're doing some yard work. They don't know they're stepping on a bee's nest or something like that, or a wasp nest. I guess if you're doing gardening and stuff, pay attention to what you're doing. You can watch out for the poisonous plants and those things.
Yeah.
So we kind of covered a little bit of water safety. Make sure... let's see. So make sure you got the safeguards in place and be careful. Use some common sense.
Absolutely.
We talked about BLS. Look into it. Worst case scenario, you learn something. Best case scenario, you save a life. And it'd be nice to see a lot of you people empowered with that. It's pretty easy, to be honest. Maybe one day we'll talk about that. But you should do a actual course. I used to be a instructor for that, but they always change the stuff every couple of years based off the research. We got that. We talked a little bit about exercise. We talked about dehydration. We talked about sun. We talked about bugs. We talked about plants. Those are the big ones. We want you guys to enjoy your summer. Get out there.
Get out there, but have fun, be safe, be healthy, and as Dr. John says, be well.
Be well.
Okay, everybody. As always, not official medical advice, but we appreciate you tuning in, and we really appreciate you being part of the #1 family medicine community in Southeast Michigan.
In Michigan. Well,
yeah,
we have.
Shout out to Lauren for we are really working towards that. That's our next step, our next goal.
So going along with that, we got some exciting news coming up. I don't know if we'll announce it today, but it's the train has left the station, so we have some very, very exciting news for you guys in the next few videos. Truly, we enjoy you guys partaking in this. Hope you guys learned something. It's bigger than just office visits and things like that. We're really trying to get the community to be healthier. We hope this stuff helps. If you guys have questions or other things you want to talk about, like, comment, subscribe. We'll do our best. If we can talk about it, we'll try our best, and kind of go from there.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful week. I'm going to come and sign us off.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.